So you must be wondering why someone called here to talk about a faltu university. Do we really need to, is it an idea worth sharing? It's not. It's so common. Sorry to be so sarcastic. Anyhow, I'm going to be talking about the movie Faltu, which is copied from an English version called Accepted. It's a story of a bunch of friends who score very less in their final exams, end up not getting any acceptance letter from any good reputed college. To pacify the parents, they decided, why not we write an acceptance letter home to our parents and they'll be all okay. So they did, and the result was that parents were happy, and more people found about it, more and more students found about it, and decided to join. As the story unfolds, this ended up starting a real university, a real fake university. So what was different about this university? Here, the learners did their own planning. The learners decided what they're passionate about, but did not go for any fixed curriculum or classes. They had no professors to teach. They taught each other. And they had no external evaluation system. Whenever they felt satisfied, that was the mark of this certificate. So one such university, a real faltu university, exists right here, 40 kilometers from here, and it's called Swaraj University. Today, I'll be sharing some stories from that university. I was sent to school. My parents thought they are going to educate me, so they sent me to school. However, with the usual lessons of maths, geography, English, science, I started to learn something what I called the hidden curriculum. And I later discovered that there's so many people know about this hidden curriculum and have talked about this hidden curriculum. So one of the part of the hidden curriculum I learned that I'm not very intelligent and capable. My brother would agree with this, jokes apart. Anyhow, the second lesson I learned was I should not do any fundamental questioning. Just get ready for the exams and move on. Who is wasting time to understand what's the meaning of pi and where does it come from? Just move on. The third lesson I learned, I should not trust myself. I should not even trust my body. If I have to really go to and use the restroom, I don't know that enough. I should wait for an adult who knows all, the teacher who knows all, when I should go to the toilet. The next lesson I learned, it is okay to talk of one thing and do something totally different. Well, every day we had this moral science or value classes, and we talked of good values of peace and non-competition and having harmony. In the same breath, my teacher would make us compete against each other. So I just was perplexed, what's this happening? So you can talk of something but not follow it or do something absolutely opposite. Then the next lesson I learned that what I may do in life right now, in school, may not be relevant in life later. I met so many people who were visiting my house, and I used to always wonder, I would ask them, what are you doing? And they would say, okay, I'm an accountant. And then I would ask, oh, so you studied and went into accounts college? And they would say, no, I was an engineer. I said, oh, okay, how does that happen? So I would see artists becoming teachers, teachers becoming artists. So it was all mix and match. They would spend years and years and years to get a degree in which they were not passionate about and end up doing something else. Some of them ended up doing something else which they were passionate about. And the other lesson which I learned was learning happens only when there is fear or bribe. Right from I was 5 years old, there was constantly a star or a stick in front of me and in front of all the kids in the class. My motivation was only if I was getting a star or if I was scared. And I think the story is true for so many of us. And this thing has got so deeply wired in my system, so deeply wired, that until 2 days back, till the organizers called me and said, are you ready with your speech? And I had this whole fearometer going high, and I said, oh, okay, I need to start preparing. So I need to do a lot of unlearning to get this out of my system. So in school, in the 12 years of school, I kept learning such lessons and many, many more such lessons. And I'm sure so many of you here have similar experience. So I wondered what was life all about when I went to school and what was my 15 years in school supposed to do. I had spent so many years understanding the subjects and wondering about the hidden curriculum. Now, after spending 14 years, I was in the 15th year of my school, the year of the exam, as many of you would have experienced, the dreaded year where people stop doing everything, freeze everything in your life and just get ready for exams. This is a year when if you don't do well in your exams, then you're doomed for life. Your success in life will be determined based on this result. So I was in that year, the 15th year, the year of the exam. And guess what? After spending hours and months preparing for that exam, I failed. I failed in all the subjects. And I got congratulated at my place. They were very happy I failed. So anyhow, that was not the tip of the iceberg. I failed, that was okay. But after a few months, I heard about a friend who used to come with me to one of the classes that she too had failed. And when I inquired a little more about her, I realized that she had committed suicide. And that was a big blow to me. I wondered, why do we go to school? Do we go there for someone to take away our self-esteem? Or do we go there to make our own lives, to learn how to live in this world, in this society? So since 1991, when I failed, every year, initially I used to keep paper cuttings, but then it became too overwhelming and too disturbing for me. Every year, each newspaper would cover of so many such stories of suicide. Before exam, during exam, after exams, and before results, after results. And the number is soaringly high. Each year, the percentage of kids committing suicide, students committing suicide is really increasing. And this has been very disturbing for me. Anyhow, so I wondered, I thought when I went to school that I went there to learn to be prepared for the world, to prepare to be living in this world properly. So one fine day, this is a very recent experience I would like to share. I was in a village nearby, and I went to pick firewoods with a young kid, 6-year-old kid. We both walked through a long distance to collect firewoods. And just to strike a friendship and strike an easy conversation with him, I started to ask him some questions. So this kid is 6-year-old, and I asked him some do you know questions. So I asked him, do you know how to cook? And he says, yes. Do you know how to light a fire? Yes. Care for cows? Yes. Do gopar lippa in your home? Yes. Grow your own vegetables? Yes. Find your way home from this jungle? Yes. And I was stunned. Wow, this 6-year-old kid knows how to live life, take care of himself, what is necessary. He knows everything at this stage. I wonder whether he was even attending the school full time. So then I thought back, came home, and while I was journaling, I thought back, okay, he was 6. Let me see when I was 16, what did I know? So when I was 16 years old, did I know how to cook? Yes, Maggie and some burnt stuff. Did I know how to light a fire? No way. I even didn't know how to change the cylinder in my house to cook. Okay, did I know how to care for others around me? Well, I don't want to disclose, but I couldn't even take good care of myself. Okay, and did I take care of minor repairs? Like he could do gobar lipai, could I take care of minor repairs in my house? No way. I didn't know how to change the fuse if the lights went off. And did I know how to grow my own food? I was eating so many varieties of fruits and vegetables from around the world, around the country. And I think 80% of them, I didn't even recognize the plants or the fruits, the plants from where the fruits were coming. And did I know how to find my way home from any place in my own city when I was 16? No, because my parents didn't allow me to venture out, or I didn't venture out. I was too comfortable there. So if this is what schooling did to me, I had spent 11 years, and this guy had, I don't know whether he even attended the school, knew everything or much, much more than what I knew, then what is the purpose of schooling? What is the purpose of this education? It was education I realized had given me and stuffed me with things which I didn't want, as if my tiny little brain was open and stuffed with loads and loads of information. But I was not prepared to learn and to live in this changing world. So, getting inspired by kids like this, Also getting inspired by several people who were walkouts, as we call them, who decide that this education system doesn't serve me. Some of the paintings are right here of people who have walked out of the education system. And they have found their own path. So we got inspired by kids in the villages. We got inspired by people who walked out, dropped out, maybe pushed out, people who were enthusiastic to create their own path in learning and follow their own passions, follow their own dreams. We were also inspired by people, the great souls, who decided that we need to challenge this existing system and do something about it. People like Gandhi, Tagore, Gijubai in Gujarat, who did an experiment, A.S. Neil, who started Summerhill School in UK, John Holt, who did the whole movement of learning it from home, unschooling, homeschooling. We got inspired by all these wonderful souls, so many souls whose lives were not touched, not fulfilled by the mainstream education system. And we decided to do an experiment, start an experiment, where we create a platform for all those who want to walk out, drop out, are pushed out, and create their own dreams. How do we take our own lives in our own hands and start living, learning what is relevant to us, what is needed for us? So this is how Swaraj University came into existence. The word Swaraj was from Gandhiji's book, Hind Swaraj. Swaraj means reclaiming one's rule over oneself, self-awareness, self-mastery, reclaiming one's own life. So this place, Swaraj University, has a very different kind of curriculum, very different type of learning. So I'm going to share some of the learning experiments we do at Swaraj. The lessons learned at Swaraj University, the first lesson is a lesson in unlearning. We have spent years and years learning things which we now will have to unlearn. We'll have to unlearn doing different experiments. We are conditioned. We are conditioned to do things one way. We are conditioned to sit in a classroom and four-wall and sit and learn. We are conditioned to learn only from somebody who's a PhD. We are conditioned to learn doing only reading from books. So such unconditioning or unlearning has to happen. There's so much of knowledge, so much of experience, so much of wonderful things all around us, right in this crowd. If we add up the total age of all of us, it would come to, I don't know, maybe over 1,000 or more years, 2,000, 3,000, I don't know. So this much experience is sitting right here, and we are not going to tap that. Only if somebody comes here and talks, he or she is intelligent, or has a PhD degree, is intelligent, and you'll go and talk to them. So why not, I would request you this in the next break, talk to someone random here and ask about their experience and learn something new from them. There's so much of knowledge here. So several experiments in unlearning happens at Swaraj, where we learn through local mentors, not a PhD. Maybe they're not a certified PhD by the system, but they are more than PhDs in their own ways. So some of our learners, or most of our learners, go to whom we call the local mentor. The local mentor would be any people in the city, an artisan, a person who's weaving baskets, a person who is making musical instruments, a roadside jhadu wali lady, a soft stone sculpture maker. So they have to go and intern with them and see what they can learn from them and just open their minds. We have to unlearn, break out of our conditioning. So this is one way, one experiment in learning in different environment, learning from non-PhD, traditionally non-PhD people. The second way we learn is spaces. We don't have to be learning in four walls. We believe that the whole world is our classroom. So learners at Swaraj, we call them Khojis. Khojis means explorers. They go all around India, all around wherever they can, and keep learning in different experiments, different environments, different ways. They find their own way to learn. So while we are together on our campus, we go out and learn. So if we are talking about what's happening in the world, and if you're using waste and talking of sustainability and thinking how are we affecting, we don't sit and talk. We do sit and talk, but we also spend half a day on a dumpster yard, Udaipur's dumpster yard, where we spend 4 hours sitting there and wondering, where does it all come from? And that kind of lessons are so powerful for us. Some of our Khojis even go to jail, not as criminals, but they go to learn and learn from the people who are right there, do a learning exchange with them, learn from them and share what these guys can share. So there are several lessons in unlearning which happens at Swaraj. The next lesson is listen to your heart. In this 2 years at Swaraj, I've come to understand that there's something funny or weird about this whole emotional stuff. I never gave so much of importance. But I realized, which is, I'm going to tell you something weird, that when I let my heart think, my head feel, and my body be, something magical has happened. So I have to switch and do different things with the role of the heart and the mind and the body. And so many things have happened, so much healing has happened, and so much spaces needs to be created. So at Swaraj, when I talk of listen to your heart, we have done and are continually doing experiments on listening to your heart. So how do we do that? So it's very simple. Just be yourself. That's one way to listen to your heart. Just be comfortable with who you are, how you are. The second way is storytelling. There so much hours and time is spent in storytelling, personal stories, which sometimes leads us to emotional states. There are times where we say hangout time, the chai chopal time, or the katta time, where people can go and just chat, and that is listening to your heart. Time to fall in love. That's also very important. That's Swaraj. And also different experiments and spaces are created for forgiveness, for gratitude. Hugs, touch, feeling of touch, which we are gradually forgetting. So such spaces are created to listen to your heart, and it has done magic, it has done wonders. The third lesson is make your own rules. This is dangerous. But yes, we ask everybody to make their own rules. So, or we can make rules together as a community if we are all together. Each one is born different. We are all driven to do what we want to do. We know how we can learn, how fast we can learn, what do we want to learn, when do we want to learn. If I make everyone sit here right now and listen to me and not move, not look anywhere, not go out, it will be so boring. So we need to break out of that. Each one can decide how they want to do. So this is one of the pillars of Swaraj, what we call it the self-designed learning. So each Koji finds out how they want to learn, what they want to learn, with whom do they want to learn, how fast, how slow, when, where, everything they decide. And for that, it's not that, oh, make your own rules and you do on your own and you shouldn't care for others giving you suggestion. You co-create your course with your mentors. You ask for help, seek guidance when you need it. But you decide what you want to do and how you want to do. So that's the third lesson. The fourth lesson is connect back. This has been also a very important lesson. I'm still a beginner in this. Connecting back to your own body. Connecting back to learning from your body, not only with your head. We are so, again, conditioned that learning happens in the head. Some years back, I realized and I read and found out later on doing some experiments that my fingers and my body has an intelligence, and it constantly records and knows things. My head would be saying, oh, don't be nervous, but my hands are sweating right now. So my body has an intelligence. I need to just listen to it. I can pacify it. So we have several spaces and options and sessions and offerings where learners, Kojis, connect with their own body. So it could be either through art, through theater, through what they're doing here is creating a lipai. We are creating one room for our own use for meditation. So when we do connect with our own body, there's an intelligence which tells what we are supposed to do and how fast we need to go. There's no urgency. It just takes it easy. Body knows how fast and how slow one needs to go. Also, when you connect back to your body, you also connect and make your own new community. So while we were doing this lipai, some of the best memories are on that day when we did the lipai, not when we were sitting and chatting or discussing. So we went to deep discussions, talking about deep stories. And so through the connecting your own body, you're connecting to your own community, and sometimes connecting to your own history, your ancestral gifts. Maybe I come from an artisan family, but I didn't know that. Or maybe I've forgotten I know that, but I don't care for it. When I start doing things with my body and in a community, those gifts start flowing through me. And I start understanding, oh, I'm good at this, and my body knows this, has remembered this. So we encourage people to connect to their body's wisdom, to the community's wisdom, and which also brings about a lot of diversity in the society. The next lesson, the last one, is know the other side. In this current culture of education, media, the way we live, everything, the society we live in, the stories we hear from our friends, family, and everybody around, is about the dominant culture. What the dominant culture tells is just a very limited version. It doesn't tell what is happening to the other side. So we constantly question and share and get into this dialogue of know the other side. So we do a lot of learning journeys where all of us go on various yatras or learning journeys to explore what is this other side. So one of the experiments we recently did was a couple of us went to Orissa, to a site of POSCO. Most of you would be knowing POSCO is this big steel plant which is trying to capture huge amounts of land in Orissa, and it's trying to uproot villages which are really, really very happy and satisfied and don't want to lose their own culture. So we went and lived in there for a couple of days, and it was a mind-blowing experience. We never heard and we never felt so connected to their cause. While we are doing things here, we were living our lavish lifestyles using paper or plastic or steel or constructing huge buildings or using ACs, we don't even connect to what's happening on the other side. What is there on the other side? So when we lived and listened to the stories of people there who are living almost confined to that village for months now, and they've been attacked by police and the goons who have been sent by the company, they have rubber bullets in their bodies, but they cannot go out of the town and get it treated in a hospital. So when you listen to such stories, spending hours and hours with them, the language was a barrier, but it didn't feel like a barrier. People just kept pouring stories, and in few hours, we started to pick their language too. So that is one kind of experiment to know the other side, which is so very important. Today's education system or the society is not talking of the other side at all. And other side of, we're just talking of one-sided development, one-sided race, satisfying our own side. So at Swaraj, it's a huge value talking of the other side. The another very popular learning journey we do is Cycle Yatra. So in Cycle Yatra, all of us, 15, 20 of us, set out for 7 days without a single rupee in our pocket, without a cell phone, without any medicines on us. We don't know where we are going. We just know a rough route where we are going. And then we have to figure out what we are going to do to earn our bread for the evening. We have to either do some dosti with people, or work with them, or do something, some jugaad. And it's a huge lesson in knowing the other side. In huge lesson in so many areas. Again, a lesson in unlearning our dependency on money. A lesson in knowing that generosity, the people in the village are much, much, much richer than we in the city, people in the city. So a lot of things when we go on such yatras and such lessons and experiments, we learn so many different ways of living and learning what are relevant to our time today. Also, I feel knowing the other side is so very important because we are going to soon lose the knowledge and ideas what our ancestors or people in the village are still having. So some of our learning journey also contain just going and spending time with the tribals. Each one of us have adopted a family in the village where near our campus. We go and just visit them, be with them, maybe just go for chai or go for a walk with the kids. And we find out they have such deep innate knowledge we don't even understand. Like Michael mentioned that the kid knew the difference in different sounds. And we'll lose it pretty soon. And there's a great African saying, when an elder dies in a village, it's equivalent to burning down a whole library. And so many such libraries have been already burnt down. And we need to do something about it. It concerns me. So these were some of the adventures in learning or stories about Swaraj. And I would like to end here with a note that this work at Swaraj is work in progress. I do not have any final answer. And it was designed, and it is working with the people who are right there in the community at that point in time. Hope you enjoyed listening to me. Thank you.